All right, everyone, let's kick this thing off. Hopefully it's on the right screen. It is. All right, welcome everyone to Banana Bread Trades. My name is Goose, and we're going to go over our weekly plan, go over the levels, see some news, and just kind of describe what we're going to do this week. First thing we're going to talk about is ES, and that's what I have on my screen right now. This is the daily chart. We had a pretty good attempt at a break out of the infinite range again. However, kind of stalling out here. I want to see a good push up. There's going to be a little bit of hesitation with the debt ceiling talks. So I'm going to be kind of weary of that. And until we have a solidified, yes, it's 100% going through, it's done, there's no way it can get canceled, I'm just going to be hesitant on any kind of long-term swings here. If it gets finalized and everything's good and we end up supporting the top of this range, I'm going to be looking for, a good bullish summer. The debt ceiling stuff that they were talking about, I mean, it's not a great pose for inflation, right? So we could actually end up seeing some higher interest rates coming, right? So it's a little bit teeter-tottery, right? If it goes through the way it is, my expectation for a 0 rate hike on this next coming FOMC, I kind of get a little more weary on that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be a lot of news and updates on this all throughout the week. Just kind of stay vigilant. I'm going to stay out of any potential swings and just play level to level, get my base hits, and just be happy with that. Like I said, this whole situation, it could really swing us one way or the other and back into the infinite range on the ES. That's just going to be no fun to trade. As you can see, we've put a ridiculous amount of volume here on the daily. I mean, this is a crazy POC. And this volume profile here, it's incorporating this entire bear move. As you can see, this is where it starts. Pretty much as soon as the bear market started, I started keeping track of volume and just seeing like when we were going to predict the end of the move. And we did that back in December. We were pretty good about saying like, hey, like I think the bear market is officially over because we could see volume profile. But now it's really weird. Like I said, it's just an absurd amount of volume right in this spot. And like I said, I'm not really confident one way or the other. Of course, I'm leaning a little more bullish, but it really just depends on these talks. Let's go over to NQ because it's a lot more clear. We like NQ a lot better. That's what I've been trading. And NQ has just been absolutely bussin'. Tech's been really strong altogether. And I'm not overly, but I'm honestly very bullish on tech still. We're going to have to see, like I said, the debt ceiling talks could really have a big effect here. But we've been really good about trading zone to zone. I see our swing levels have been pretty accurate so far. Had a lot of consolidation here, moved up to here, had some resistance, went ahead and powered through. And now we're we're in the middle of our next two swing zones. So I am looking for somewhat of a pullback. We're getting kind of parabolic here in a way, like it's getting really, really bullish. And something really to note, when the market gets really bullish like this, you have to stay patient and take your stops. Because what can happen is any break of longer time frame levels. So when we go to the hourly chart, I'll show you. But any break of our longer hourly levels or anything like that, those can lead to really violent, like 200-point flushes, like profit-taking flushes, right? They're just very fast, very violent, and it doesn't really provide a really good entry point for a short, right? And then that's going to be immediately followed by an almost uncatchable V recovery. So that's why it's very important if you do try taking stabs long during one of those events, you take your stop because it can continue going and the market will continue going past your margin call, right? It doesn't have to bounce. And that's why I'm saying those V recoveries can be sometimes very, very difficult to catch because it doesn't always happen in the level that you're anticipating. So yeah, just be wary, and pay attention to news and trade your levels. But yeah, we're right in the middle of these two swing zones, so I don't really have a strong bias one way or the other. We were really patient right here when we broke that high. You know, everyone in the Discord, you guys could have seen I got pretty long. I did miss the first initial long, and I was really bummed about that. But we caught a few more on that nice 3% day. So yeah, like I said, NQ has been really fun to trade. And we're just kind of waiting as far as swings go. Like I said, I'm not in any real swing positions other than just holding my long-term stuff. I will have to wait for either a retest of this level or, yeah, like I said, I'm just not going to get into any options plays or swing plays right here in the middle of these two zones, especially, like I said, with the news coming out. So let's talk about what news all we have this week. So today is the 29th, so this will be tomorrow. Today's Monday the 29th. Tomorrow will be Tuesday the 30th. And let's see, we have consumer confidence. That's going to be 30 minutes after market open. That should leave a little bit of volatility in the market on tomorrow. So I'll probably wait until initial balance is set before I start taking any trades. Like I said, usually 30 minutes after a news event like that gives the market a little bit of time to kind of plane out a little bit, and then plays will be good to play again. What's next? Japanese. This is all Globex stuff. Wednesday, that's France, Germany, ECB. A lot of stuff going on in Globex this week. Canadian GDP, US JOLTS job openings. That will probably be a little volatile. I don't expect that one to, you know, completely morph the market, but I will definitely be flat on that one. Another 30 minutes after the open news event as well. Those are kind of my least favorite because right at that 30-minute mark is where I usually take my first trade of the day. So when we have those news events right at the 30-minute mark, I don't really get to get in on those plays. And when I say the first 30 minutes of the day of the regular trading hour session, I'll usually try to play that 30-minute rotation. If we can get into one of my zones on the hourly chart, or if we're looking at Rocket Scooter, if we're near like half gap or hedge pressure, anywhere around that 30-minute mark, I'll usually try to start fading the move and look for that 30-minute reversal. So yeah, like I said, when we have news right at that time, just kind of screws up my day, or at least my morning. I have to be patient and wait for pretty much initial balance to set. Going into Thursday, a bunch more on the European side. Really busy European week. Let's see, 7:30. So this will be 1 hour before market open. We have U.S. initial jobless claims. Now this one, I expect to kind of set the tone for the day. That should be a pretty volatile move, just because it's a real indicator of inflation. And we want to see, as far as inflation goes, we want to see jobless claims increase. That just shows that in a way they're using jobless claims as a metric to measure inflation. So higher jobless claims mean inflation is getting under control. Lower jobless claims means inflation is still kind of a problem, which, I mean, at the jobless claims that we're at right now, it's still pretty low, right? Unemployment is still, you know, really low. So it's not like it's anything terrible. Just means that there's people looking for jobs, which is also good, that there's more people looking to, you know, get work. So that's really all we got. I guess we have PMI on. Ooh, yeah, we have US S&P manufacturing PMI, 15 minutes after open on Thursday. That is going to be very volatile move there. Yeah, so Thursday is going to be one heck of a day. A lot of news events. So be sure you're flat during that event, because that'll wick you out of any position you got going. It can wreck you very fast, because that is also a direct measure of inflation. So yeah, we got two pretty big inflationary reports there. So that could really set the tone for the market as well, because FOMC coming the following week, I believe it's the following week or the week after, they're going to really be looking at those numbers right there. PMI and jobless claims to decide whether or not they're going to be doing the rate hike. And then we have non-farm payrolls, and that's on June 2nd, which I believe is Friday. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's on Friday. Really news-filled week altogether. So will probably be some pretty bloody and difficult trading. So be sure you guys are definitely trading light this week, because yeah, with all this news, I imagine it's probably going to be a lot of unexpected swings in either direction. Non-farm payrolls and U.S. unemployment rate, both of those 1 hour before open on Friday, those are definitely going to set the tone for the day. So I'll be patient again, wait for those to come out. Luckily, they're before market open, so I'll still be able to play, regular trading hours like normal, but I'll just have to keep in mind, what kind of bias is that going to set? And, I'll have to just play accordingly. But yeah, almost every day this week has a lot of pretty important inflationary news. And then on top of that, you have the, the government being weird with our budget. So yeah, not a real big fan of this week altogether. Looking on a little further, yeah, they don't have anything listed further. So yeah, there's our news for the week. Now let's go ahead and just mark out some hourly levels here. As you can see, our red line, our high of the range that we had, it got broken. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. I'm going to delete it and turn that into a zone. So we're going to go over here, mark out this consolidation zone. Oops. Mark out this little consolidation zone because that's the zone that we want to get long in. And right it. There we go. And then above there, we really just, that was one heck of an uptrend move right there. But one thing to definitely note is this gap. And I'm going to go ahead and mark out this gap, because that's where we're trading right now as well. And that is our Globex opening gap from Sunday night. So I will keep an eye on this for any potential swing positions. Really, this is NQ, by the way. Break below it. One thing I would like, so two potential plays here, right? If we flush below overnight tonight, and then first thing in the morning we pump up, we maybe leave a wick in here, right? If we leave a real distinguishable wick on the 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart, any sort of longer time frame one, I'll probably look to maybe do a swing short. Let me see if I can draw for you guys. So what I want to see here is this. Okay, so let's change this to red, make it smaller. Oops. Change that to red. So let's say Globex sells off a bit, and then first thing in regular trading hours, we pump up. We leave a wick right here. I would expect a full move down back to this consolidation zone, right? So I would probably play this swing position right here. Now, it's a really easy stop though, right? Because we have clear consolidation zone. We break above this kind of level right here. What would that be exactly on this? So let's say we break above basically 14,420, right? That'd be a real obvious stop. Could probably be even tighter as well. But this range right here is really pretty tight. So you could probably play with a micro or two, and that would be the swing position that I would look for if we're playing to the short side, right? Our bias really depends on how we open in the morning and what our delta, volume, and everything looks like when we get to this spot, right? I'm not just going to blindly short this level. I'll look for any indication that, sellers are really stepping in or lack of buyers. And if I do get short there, I will definitely be looking to get to that next consolidation zone below, which would be, Yeah, 13,980. So you could really probably get, I mean, that's a 400 point move. I don't expect to get that in one day, but I would probably try to hold that short for an extended amount of time, repair all this volume down here. I mean, we left quite a bit of gross volume on that big move up. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see us just break out of this level, right? We're consolidating right here. Like I said, we'll see what the overnight does, but anything above 14,420, I mean, honestly, I'll probably just be bullish and look for any good long opportunities. We'll also see what Rocket Scooter provides us in the morning. You know, we'll look at the liquidity map and see kind of how the market's positioned. But yeah, that's really all I got for NQ right now. There's a big gap right here, and really where I want to take a trade in here probably won't. Outside of, you know, any real obvious levels on Rocket Scooter, but down here I'll have to wait for us to form a new level. But right now there's not a clear level for me to take outside of right here at 14,400-ish, and then 13,950. Other than that, I mean, infinite up, same as last week and the week before, just playing any really good long opportunities that form during the day. And play to the long side, break below here. We'll play that, you know, swing short. I don't think I have any levels really marked out on ES. I mean, we're still kind of in this gross infinite range. And I'm just not really, like I said, this kind of market action on ES, it's just not appealing to me whatsoever. So I'm just staying out. It's not nice and trendy. It's just consolidate, puke one way or the other. Just make sure you're on the right side of things. And I mean, honestly, like I said, it's a range until it's not, right? So to see us come back down to the lower part of the range, I really wouldn't be surprised. I mean, come back down to this POC at 14, or not 14, but 4144, 4142, somewhere around there. I wouldn't be surprised to see it move back down to there on ES, just by the way that the market's been since April, right? We've been in this choppy infinite range. So until it proves me otherwise, I'm just staying out of ES altogether. And that's really all I got for the week. I don't think there's any really good earnings or anything this week. Maybe there is. Nothing I'm really looking forward to, at least. So yeah, that's really all I got. Like I said, NQ, that's going to be the move. Tomorrow I expect probably a really good swing to happen one way or the other. And maybe we do just consolidate. Like I say, if we start chopping around this zone during regular trading hours, like breaking above and below it, back and forth, I'll just sit out and wait. Like I said, this week could be pretty gross with all the news releases and stuff. Probably a lot of indecision as well. Music Maker Calm wants me to show you Rocket Scooter. Yeah, we could go over Rocket Scooter. I'll go ahead and say, like, okay, we're done looking at my future outlook. So let's go ahead and just do a little quick Rocket Scooter demo. I have no problem with doing that. Let me pull it up here. Oh, yeah, oops. Don't want you seeing my login information. Okay, so, which you wouldn't be able to get it anyway. Okay, so Rocket Scooter. It's after hours, right? So we're not going to really probably get any levels. I could probably get yesterday's to load, maybe. Yeah, okay. So this is Friday's levels. And this is Rocket Scooter. Rocket Scooter is basically Matt over there at Rocket Scooter. He developed this algorithm to be able to tell you where the market was hedged bullish and bearish based on the options chain, right? So as you can see here, there's a bunch of call walls, right? This green area, this is where the options chain is weighted heavier with calls. And then same thing with the bear zone, heavier with puts, right? These are where the puts are in the money. These are where these calls are in the money. And then hedge pressure is kind of a weighted average. There's a long algorithm that goes into it to define hedge pressure, but that's kind of the weighted middle of all of it. And hedge pressure is usually a good sign of like, hey, if we're above that, we're above the weighted middle. we should stay bullish. We break below. Okay, now we're more on the short side. And it'll kind of out these zones. Normally it doesn't really look like this, so this is kind of gross. That's just showing that there's a lot of indecision below hedge pressure here, right? And then there's monthly hedge pressure as well right here, which shows where the monthly options are basically weighted. And I'll take trades at monthly hedge pressure almost every single time. So with a Rocket Scooter, they have all sorts of trading and everything to tell you like what is the most statistically profitable, or what's not profitable, but the most statistically probable direction the market will move based on how your walls and hedge pressure are aligned. But as we saw on Friday, we opened in a bull zone above hedge pressure, right? So we're in heavy call territory, heavy bullish territory, and we're above that weighted volume. So you can almost think of hedge pressure in a way of, like, to put it in really, really basic terms, think of it almost as like a VWAP, right? It's not VWAP in any way, but the way it almost acts in a way, like if you're above VWAP, you're usually pretty bullish, you're on an uptrend. Below VWAP, you're kind of in a downtrend, right? So Friday was a little tough because we didn't get a test of hedge pressure, right? I usually like to wait till hedge pressure or this gap between bull and bear wall, right? I would expect the bulls to want to defend breaking into bearish territory. So hedge pressure and this little gap right here between walls, I'll look for those little areas right there to long, and I'm going to long them lightly, right? It's not going to be a direct test. Sometimes it is. Like with monthly hedge pressure, it's usually a direct test. But I'll look for those areas to kind of get long. And if they align with like one of my hourly levels or any of my longer time frame zones, I'm definitely going to get long, probably a little heavier. But it also shows me when to not trade, right? Let's say we open up here in this bear wall. Hedge pressures maybe up here. Well, now I know that we're opening in bearish territory, and now there's going to be pressure to the upside, right? But there's also bullish pressure below me, so I'm going to be kind of trapped in this little bearish zone right here. It's probably going to be some really gross trading until we break out one way or the other. And breaking to the low side, it only gets more gross, right? Because we just go bear zone, bull zone, bear zone. So to the downside, I'm really not looking for any longs. What I would be looking for if we opened up down here is if we could break above, get clear into bull territory, and then I would look to take some longs. But you can pull this up for any stock, anything that has an options chain, you can use Rocket Scooter on. So for SPY, Tesla, whatever you wanted to do. And during the trading session, they have this scanner down here, and you can set the scanner to look for anything based on what kind of strategy you're wanting to trade with this. So if you're wanting to look for any stock that's really close to hedge pressure and you're wanting to take a hedge pressure trade, it'll show you all the stocks that are closest to hedge pressure. Same thing with monthly hedge pressure, or they have different terms for how the market is structured that day. So like, let's say you want a bull long up setup. So you're looking for any stock that is in a bull long up setup, which is my favorite one, which is a very bullish setup, which this was a bull long up setup. Bear short down, momentum range, well, like whatever setup you want to have, you can set the scanner to look for that, or distance from things, whatever. What they also have on Rocket Scooter is the ability to look at your monthly maps, daily maps, look at single dates. So what I really like is I can look at what tomorrow's walls are going to be set at already, right? I can look at, far out dates. Any date that I want that has options on it already, I can look at that. So 5:30. And then we need to set this to manual, single date. Uh-oh, it's not wanting to pull data. They're probably down for maintenance right now. No data received for walls. That's unfortunate. 5:30. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I'm not pulling data right now. So I imagine they're probably doing maintenance because it's nighttime. They do a lot of, it's still a new app, so they do a lot of maintenance. So I can't get these to pull right now. But if you come into the Discord, we can talk about it too. I have some examples there, but it'll show you the walls that we were looking at earlier for different dates, right? So you can kind of plan ahead. Let's say you have the center of those big bull and call walls are up here. Well, you can probably plan some calls. Same thing if they're way down here, you can maybe plan some puts. So that's what I really like to see. Seeing you can kind of see how the market is planning to move, or how people are hedged to move farther out. There's also the monthly maps. I don't think I'll be able to pull the monthly maps if they're doing maintenance right now. Yeah, no, that's just today's map. I said their data's down, so I'm not going to be able to pull any monthly data as well. Yeah, that's basically Rocket Scooter. They also have, let's see, they have the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and DD ratio, right? And these are S&P resilience, NASDAQ resilience, and the DD ratio. DD ratio is going to tell you how kind of volatile we are on the day. NQ resilience, that's going to show you how many stocks, and this is a weighted average, but how many are above their half gap. So like whenever the market opens overnight, or the options open one night to the other, there's going to be a gap within your regular trading hours. So from your previous close to your today's open, right, there's a gap. And what the resilience measures is the distance, the weighted average distance from all the stocks within the NQ, if they're above or below that. And it takes a big equation to do the weighted average of them. Same thing with S&P 500. And it kind of acts as a internal indicator, right? Same thing with like the tick indicator or VolQD. It just shows you, hey, are the stocks within this bullish or are they bearish? So you say, oh, that's what you see. Thought, love it. I pay them a month, or I'm a lifetime member of Rocket Scooter. I have been for probably 3 or 4 years now, but they have the option for you to get like a monthly subscription. I think they're still doing a trial. So I would definitely try out the trial. And then if you like it, you can move to it full time. If you have questions, I can always answer them in the Discord. And what I do in the Discord is, I can't, they're like a service, right? So they don't want people like streaming their stuff full time. Well, if I was streaming every day, I could. I have permission from Matt to show off Rocket Scooter so people would want to buy it. But also, I'm not just going to I can't just like give away their stuff for free either, right? But if you do get it, what I can do is I can help you through, right? So if you have questions or anything, be like, hey, I'm seeing this on Rocket Scooter. I can tell you like, hey, this is kind of what this means. This is the way I would trade that situation, right? Howdy, Brian. A little late, but I'm glad you made it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to Rocket Scooter. I mean, it's extremely helpful. I mean, I probably couldn't trade. I mean, you could trade without it, but the way I trade, I really love using it because it gives me confidence to trade my levels with size, right? That's what I really use Rocket Scooter for, is it's kind of my size and whether or not I should hold a position, right? So let's say we get to one of my longer time frame levels and I'm like, okay, should I take this for a scalp or should I try to hold this for 100 plus points on NQ? Well, if we have a setup like this, right, where it's clearly bullish, we have a clear line of invalidation, right? If we break below this, then all of a sudden it's bearish. So yeah, if I have a longer time frame level right around here, I'll probably take a long and I'll hold it for 100 plus points, right? Or however, like to wherever my upper target is, I'll try to swing it to there. But if we open in here somewhere and we get to one of my targets or one of my levels, maybe I'll just take the scalp, right? Because the market's not clearly weighted one way or the other. And that's what's really, really beneficial about Rocket Scooter, is that it just gives you that confidence to be able to trade with size, or, you know, for a certain amount of distance, right? And that's what I really like about it. But yeah, unless you guys got any more questions, that's probably all I got for tonight. We got our forecast in. Sorry, losing my voice. Got our forecast in. Went over Rocket Scooter a little bit. This one went a little bit better than the last one because we got the walls to pull up, but yeah, it's that time of night where they start doing maintenance, so yeah, unless anyone's got anything else, I'm probably gonna go peace out. Probably go put on a movie and go to bed. Honestly, it's been a fun weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to all who have served. And yeah, thank you for your sacrifice, for allowing us to be able to do this, right? Like, I don't know. You can talk about how you want, but it's pretty awesome that we're able to live the lives that we do. So I'll see you guys all later. Any questions, feel free to hit me up, talk to me in the Discord, leave comments, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.